Welcome to the 48th installment in Trading Strategy Guide's Trading Education Series. Today we're going to analyze a couple of actual trades that I took recently. Stay tuned. Hi, this is Tim from TradingStrategyGuides.com. Thanks for coming back for this installment of our Trading Education Series. Today we're going to look at a couple of actual trades that I've recently taken. One of them was a trade from the Trading Picks video series, and the other is a trade that we're still in from the Cash Alerts app. I'm going to take advantage of TradingView's chart replay capability so that you can follow along with these trades as they unfold. I like to do that because it makes it easier to understand how a trade happened without actually having a clue as to what could be coming next, unless of course you cheat and follow along with your own chart. Today we're going to look at two trades that hit the first targets. Next week we'll review a couple of trades that were losers, because losers happen. The first trade we're going to look at is a trading range on the currency pair Euro-Swiss franc. This is a trade that I posted in a Trade Picks video on February 15th of this year. I've queued the chart up on the February 15th candle using TradingView's candle replay feature. I'll tick through the candles and share how I managed this trade as it proceeded. Right here is the control for the candle replay, and you click on this one to go one candle at a time, and you can see the candles appear right over here. Starting on the 15th, which is right here, of February, 16th, 17th, 18, 19, and you see it's attacked the 108.70 line, and we're looking to buy a candle close above that range, and there's our candle close above the range. So what I do just ahead of this close is I will actually delete the text and the arrow because they just get in the way, and I would buy at this point just ahead of the candle close, long position. I look down here at the ATR, which is 31 pips, and I'll adjust this tool. Now this is just a visual tool that I use on this chart since I don't actually take these trades from TradingView. So my profit level is going to be 31 pips, 314, and my stop loss will be 1.5 times that number, so that will be 46, about 46 pips, 460 ticks. Okay, and what that does is it adjusts the target and the stop loss right here. Now we tick through these one at a time. Whoa, and the very first day it hits our target right here. So on this day I will close half. Actually, when the price actually hits that level, my first position will close, and I'll move the stop to break even on the remainder, like so. At this point I will turn the parabolic SAR on, which as you can see is following along down here, and I will keep going through these candles until the parabolic SAR gets above the break-even point right here. So now the parabolic SAR is up here, and just for visual I will put this line here, and that is where my stop loss will be. I will match that on my account. Now we tick up the next day, this moves up to here, and each time we move this we're locking in more of this trade. So when this market starts to pull down here, it'll hit our stop and we will have locked in this amount of the trade on the second half. So we've already got this much profit, what did I say, 31 pips or so on the first half, and the second half is now just below that point. So we'll keep going up. Each day I move this up. As I follow this parabolic SAR, I move my stop loss up, continue to move the stop loss up. Now at one point I stopped moving this up because I saw that this was starting to consolidate here, 110.18. So this moved up again, and right there is 110.18, roughly where I stopped it, and I held it there because this was consolidating right here, and I was hoping that maybe we could hold the stop down here and it would allow this to consolidate and then take off again and maybe get a little bit more profit off of this. So I move this one more time. Okay, we're still in this trade. You see I've held the stop here. It hit the parabolic SAR and moved it up here, but I did not move my stop with that. So we're still holding at 1:10:18 right here, and we keep moving ahead one day at a time until finally on March 16th, you can see that it came down and hit our stop at 1:10:18, and that was the end of our trade. And we ended up with an additional 123 pips on the second half. Now that's how I managed that particular trade. And at this point, I'm done with the Euro Swiss. So let's move on to the second one. Okay, this is Johnson & Johnson, or J&J, and we've got a bull flag set up on this. I posted this one on March 10th to the Comcash Alerts app for our Comcashers, as I like to call them. Hang around to the end of the video and I'll tell you a little bit about the Comcash Alerts app. This particular trade was called on March 10th. As you can see right here, I usually put the call date in the lower left-hand corner of the chart just for my own reference. And I have queued this on March 10th, and it looked like it was just about to break through. So let's tick through this one at a time. Okay, I believe I posted in the Comcash Alerts app that this had pushed up above this level right near the end of the day, but it pushed back down into the bull flag. So that was not an entry. The next day, it closed outside of the bull flag, but it did it on very small volume. This is not sufficient volume. As you know, I want at least 75% of the average volume. This was something less than that, so I did not enter the trade right here. The next day, we still did not have sufficient volume on this, so we went to the next day. This time, we had sufficient volume, just barely. Just so you can see how the math is done here, I take this volume right here, 6.369, and divide it by this volume average right here, 7.916. It gives me 0.8 or 0.80 or 80% of the average volume. So that's sufficient for a half size position. So I entered a half size position here, and again I take these out because they just get in the way, and I use the same long position tool. And again, I say I just use this long position tool as a reference so I can see what the trade is doing without having to go to my actual trading app. So I look down here at the ATR and it's 2.69. So that's 269 ticks. I multiply 269 by 1.5, that gives me 404 ticks. So this is 404, and this is where my stop and first target are. Now let's watch how this one worked. The next day went down, 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 really down. Now you see it's still outside of the bull flag, but it has not hit the stop yet. So I'm still in this trade, and that is today's candle right there. So this is still an open trade, although as you know, these patterns should be explosive, and they should explode out just like the Euro Swissy did, with a lot of momentum and a lot of force. That doesn't always happen, and this is an example of what I'm saying. You see, this is forming a downtrend. If this doesn't break, I'm likely to cut this one loose for a small loss just to free up the cash so I can trade something else. So that's an example of a winner and a still active trade. When you write your trading plan, you need to make a contingency for every event that could happen in the market, and you should do all of that in advance. I manage all my trades the same way, so it's easy for me to know what to do under all market conditions, and it removes most of the stress of the trading. But I like to trade stress-free, so I have all these contingencies set out in advance, so I don't have to think of them while in the heat of the battle, so to speak. Okay, and that's it for today's video. Next week, we're going to take a look at some trades that were actual losers, some that closed back inside their respective patterns, and some that actually dropped and hit the stop loss. So we'll discuss those next week. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them in the description below. I'll be glad to answer them. Now, I mentioned earlier that I'd tell you about the Comcash Alerts app. This is an app built by our amazing tech people at Trading Strategy Guides. What you get is all of my trade setups and my trade tracking, and you can even chat directly with me. The trade setups from the Trade Picks videos are available on the app, plus all the other trades that I personally take every week. The big thing is, though, we can chat about trades, and I'll be happy to answer your questions right there on the chat page, and I find that really handy for answering questions. The Comcash Alerts app is available for iPhone, Android, and desktop browser. Click the link in the description box below for more information. And come back Friday for my strategy of the week, and next Monday for my trade picks. My videos come out at 3 p.m. New York time on those days. Don't hesitate to ask any questions you may have. Remember, the only stupid question is the unasked one. If this video helped you, smash that like below. Subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be notified of our videos in the future. Have a great Wednesday, and I will see you on Friday.